You already know that he has speed, he's got power. I know he's moving up the weight class, can carry it, but those intangibles, I believe that he has it.
Look at it. They can know Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger in Crawford can look bigger in weigh-ins and all that stuff. It's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him. The twins, he fought Crawford in all the stuff, the weigh-ins, the press conference.
Too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good one. I'm not saying nothing. Not taking nothing from Canelo.
Canelo versus Crawford is being billed as the biggest fight of the year, and Teddy Atlas has given his honest breakdown, stating that Terence Crawford has what it takes to win regardless of weight class. Praising Crawford's skills, discipline, and adaptability, Atlas argues that Canelo Alvarez is not the same fighter he once was, claiming the Mexican superstar has lost the hunger and fire that once made him great. According to Atlas, Canelo's recent performances show decline, and he even goes as far as calling him overrated compared to Crawford. For Atlas, Crawford's sharpness and drive make him the favorite to win.
That the urgency's not there, the fire's not there. At least it wasn't there a week ago. At least I'd say that. It wasn't there a week ago. Maybe it'll be there now. Maybe he's the kind of guy that, and I get it, that at this point in his career, it has to be a big fight to get up. That Canelo can't get up for these fights. He couldn't get up for that fight. All right. If you want to go down that road, go ahead. But my road is still positive. That he's not old, that he just doesn't have that fire no more. Oh my God, I'm going to say this one. Maybe he's a little overrated. And listen, I know he's tremendous. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? If you look at some of his biggest fights, the fights where you had to be great to win, that you fought great fighters or near great fighters, you can make the argument that he lost the first Triple G. He didn't embarrass himself, but he got a draw. Second one, you can make the argument he lost that. I know it was a different kind of fight, and he got better. But you can make the argument he lost to Lara. He did lose to Mayweather. You can make the argument he was too young in his career. Maybe. Although it wasn't that young. He turned pro when he was 15 or 16.
Mean Machine, a fighter who has shared the ring with Terence Crawford, strongly believes that size will not determine the outcome of Crawford's clash with Canelo Alvarez. He argues that Crawford's skill set is far superior and that his intelligence inside the ring makes him too smart for Canelo. In his view, the difference in weight and natural size is not enough to overcome the gap in ring IQ, adaptability, and timing that Crawford brings to every fight. He insists that Crawford is one of the most calculated fighters of his generation, able to adjust mid-fight and dismantle opponents regardless of their physical advantages. Mean Machine describes Crawford as someone who can control pace, distance, and rhythm, elements that often matter more than sheer size. And for him, this matchup clearly favors a fighter with sharper tools, which is undoubtedly Terence Crawford.
It's not good for Crawford to do. Right now, my position changed. I think Crawford is too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good one. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not taking nothing from Canelo, but the way when you see all these two big, when you see Usyk fight and what Usyk did to the big guys like Joshua and Fury, so the size of the doesn't matter. I think the skill level matters. And Crawford, he gained weight, but I think he's gonna be even faster and this hard work with him weight, boxing speed on top. So I would say 50-50, but right now I'm kind of leaning with Crawford.
And that's just because of what you saw Usyk do?
It's not like I'm just giving an example that size doesn't matter in boxing. And you said all Canelo is big and he's fighting 175, 168. And Crawford is moving from 137, 154. So I'm just giving an example that size doesn't matter, and the fighter makes the fight. I think it's just that I see that Crawford's training and that he's big too right now. So he gained weight, but not a lot of people do weight like that, sloppy weight like I said that. But he looks like strong, massive. So I think it's gonna be good.
How did Terrence feel physically when you faced him? Like, how is it like his strength? Because yeah, a lot of people do make the point that Canelo's just maybe too big, too powerful for Crawford.
Crawford, I wouldn't say like his punches was like super strong, but his timing and accuracy is what makes this.
Mean Machine draws a compelling comparison between the upcoming Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight and Canelo's 2013 bout against Floyd Mayweather. At that time, Canelo was younger and less seasoned, and Mayweather schooled him with superior speed, defense, and ring generalship. Mean Machine believes Crawford has the ability to replicate a similar strategy using movement, precision, and smart counterpunching to frustrate Canelo and neutralize his biggest weapons. However, he acknowledges one crucial difference. Today, Canelo has far more experience than he did back then. Over the years, he has faced and defeated elite opponents, learned to adapt, and develop patience that wasn't present in the Mayweather fight.
So hard that they're gonna wait the stages go. And if he feels like his calculation for the punches and like timing and aiming for the right spot,
Do you think that's going to be the thing that complicates the fight the most for Canelo?
I think so, yeah. And like we can go back maybe to Mayweather Canelo and Canelo again and like Mayweather smart, but it can be like for me I felt like that. Even Canelo right now has more experience and Crawford is still on his prime. So, yeah.
From just your experience, you knowing boxing, like how do you think the fight will play out? Do you think it'll be a slow fight? Do you think it'll be tactical? Do you think
I think it's gonna start a little bit slowly. They're gonna be careful with each other just to kind of like measure each other and see where they are. And like they're like that's what like they were champs and they're like great ones. They just don't go like crazy like.
Regis Prograis offers a contrasting view, dismissing the notion that Crawford's punches will have any effect on a granite-chinned, naturally bigger fighter like Canelo Alvarez. According to Prograis, Canelo has absorbed shot from some of the hardest hitters in boxing, fighters naturally larger than Crawford, and has proven nearly unshakable. However, Prograis does not completely count Crawford out. While he questions the impact of Crawford's power, he still acknowledges the Nebraska star's ability to win on skill, strategy, and determination. In his assessment, Crawford's technique is world-class, and his ability to switch stances and execute flawless game plans makes him a dangerous opponent, even for someone as formidable as Canelo.
I think that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You gotta look at it. And they Canelo's over. Crawford has the ability, but he's small. And he can look bigger Crawford can look bigger in weigh-ins and all that stuff. It's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin, he fought Crawford. And in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. His head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you could tell. You could see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight. But it's not weight like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do it. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave him trouble, Arizona, Laura, Austin Straw, Floyd, and Bebo. They gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Straw moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that. But I don't know how Crawford is doing fine when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no, Jamel took the knee. So it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't. Madrimov would touch him up a little. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo, this is another bigger guy. I would go with Crawford. You talk about a break. This might be. People might kill me for this. Well, not really, but this might be the best Mexican fighter ever. One of them, at least, right?
Jose Vargas Jr., who has sparred with Terence Crawford, echoes Regis Prograis' skepticism, openly stating that he does not believe Crawford can hurt Canelo after having felt Crawford's punches himself in sparring. He admits that Crawford is sharp and precise, but not necessarily heavy-handed enough to seriously trouble someone of Canelo's size and durability. Vargas points out that Alvarez has faced and survived the power of much larger fighters, which raises questions about whether Crawford can generate the same kind of danger. That said, Vargas doesn't dismiss Crawford entirely, acknowledging that power isn't everything. Timing, accuracy, and consistency can break down even the toughest fighters. Still, in his view, Crawford's shots may not carry enough weight to stop Canelo from pressing forward with relentless pressure.
Going to be done in camp.
You know, all we're doing is putting the final touches. I mean, I've been sparring Ron Ellis. I mean, this guy's a dog, bro. He's been getting me ready. I mean, he's been Canelo's sparring partner. Shout out to my guy Ron, man. He comes, tries to knock me out every single sparring. He's got fights at 68. Big dude, goes southpaw, and hits hard. So, I know he fought Benavidez. So, you know, he's a veteran. He's doing better in tactics in there, where he's not letting me rest and cleanse. He's making me work every second of every round. And I got something for Callum. I got something for the whole boxing world. And, you know, I feel you're just as good as your preparation. And we've been doing the road work. We've been doing the mountain work. I've been recovering hard. I've been getting my rest. You know, I haven't been drinking no dark sodas, bro. I'm feeling like Tyson Fury right now, bro.
Like Tyson Fury right now. Bro, Mickey Bay takes a more controversial stance by accusing Canelo Alvarez of cherry-picking and accepting the fight with Terence Crawford. Bay argues that Alvarez has often been selected with opponents, waiting for the right timing or size advantage, and in this case, he believes Canelo saw Crawford as a smaller fighter moving up in weight, making the matchup physically favorable for him. Critics within boxing circles have echoed this view, suggesting that Alvarez is using his size and strength to gain an edge over a naturally lighter man. Bay highlights how this narrative has sparked backlash, with fans and analysts debating whether the matchup is fair. Still, despite the criticism, he acknowledges that Crawford is too good to be written off, as even if Canelo enters as a bigger man, Crawford's intelligence and adaptability could still flip the script.
That size comparison type of a thing to make it seem like it's not a type of cherry pick that he has to go up into this battle.
No, he is not big. People height do with weight and where you be fighting. Terence put his weight on, so it's different. You know, Canelo's a lot different. Hands down, like just mad as far as mad. He's naturally that big. You know, he got to come down. Terence, just because your weight is up there, that don't mean that. That's like putting a dude Benavidez as a heavyweight. He might walk around at 205. That don't mean he's heavyweight. So Canelo was by far the biggest man. You just seen him hit dudes 6'3", 6'2" in the arm, and hurt him. Like he didn't hurt Kovalev, light heavyweight. So, I mean, didn't he have a light heavyweight title?
Well, when he fought Kovalev.
Period. That light heavyweight. Didn't Canelo win light heavyweight?
Nah, he just Kovalev too.
Oh, okay. But he might have only fought there a couple times, but the fact that he fought up there though, and he fought way up in light heavyweight, then to middleweight for a minute, so he's a bigger guy for sure. Really, he gotta hurt Crawford, or he gotta get a major respect to make Crawford feel like he gotta survive. He can't that he's fighting.
Do you feel like you was talking about Crawford and he needs to poke his way out of this fight, right? We've seen that, you know, Crawford's been lined up by lots of fighters. Not Aaron Spence, of course, but other fighters that was able to line up with shots that don't necessarily hit like Canelo. Now, Canelo going to line you up regardless, right?
Tom Loeffler offers a different perspective, focusing not on fairness but on the sheer spectacle of Canelo versus Crawford. As a promoter, Loeffler views this fight as one of the most marketable matchups in modern boxing, emphasizing that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are two of the sport's biggest names, each carrying loyal global fan bases that span across cultures, nations, and demographics. He explained that fights of this magnitude transcend the ring, capturing mainstream attention and drawing in casual audiences who might not otherwise watch boxing.